Hello everyone, it is Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I'm your Wednesday guy, Theodore. This week's topic is coming out in the workplace. So let's talk about it. So when I was applying for jobs, I had just come out not really that long ago, maybe 6 months before, I think. And then so I went looking for jobs, and I tried to find ones that, you know, I'd research a little bit about them and see how, if they were like LGBTQ asterisk friendly or not, and that was really helpful. It narrowed my search. But there was one place I really wanted to work at, which was a pottery painting place. Kind of like, I don't know if anyone's ever been to like a Color Me Mine or something like that, but it's kind of like that. And I really wanted to work there because it's a real world application of ceramics, and that is kind of what I'm studying. So I applied, and when I went in, I did the whole interview, and my manager was like, do you have any questions for me, blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, how LGBTQ asterisk friendly are you? And she was like, oh my gosh, we're totally okay with that. And I was like, oh good, that's really important because I'm a trans man. And she asked what that was, and I explained it to her, and she was totally cool with it. Like, it was super easy, and I think, you know, they made me a name tag with my preferred name, and they, you know, used the right pronouns and stuff, and like, it was really great. It was like a good experience. That's the only job I've had since coming out, so I'm very grateful that my experience was like not awful. Eventually I told my coworkers kind of one by one in the first like week or two I was there. That was really important for me because they were using she her pronouns, because my boss didn't want to tell them unless she didn't want to tell them for me. She didn't want to out me, so I told them one by one. And like, it's a small work environment. There's like less than 10 of us, and you know, they all immediately started using the right pronouns after I told them. Some of them did have some questions, but most of them knew what trans was. So at my work, there's only one restroom. It's a unisex bathroom, so I really didn't have to worry about, you know, the restroom situation, whether I could use the men's restroom or not, which was good. That was something that she mentioned to me in the interview after I told her, and she's like, well, you know, we only have one restroom, and which is totally fine. It doesn't really matter to me if there's one restroom or if there's men and women's. I definitely use the men's if there were, and I think they would let me. So something that was a little bit awkward was having my name that everyone used for me, like my real name, and then having my birth name. That was like confusing and kind of awkward because, you know, when I got my paycheck, they'd have to have my legal name and stuff like that. But for everything else, my name tag had the proper name. My, you know, even my timesheet, they had used the right name because everyone can see those. So they used Theodore on those, which was really nice, and then they just changed it for when they're doing payroll. Yeah. For me, telling everyone one by one was really effective, and I asked them not to tell anyone, and they respected that. And I was able to do it in my own time, and really that was really helpful for me. So thanks for watching. You can drop a comment or a question down below. I will answer them as I get them. Please like and subscribe. It's always great. And then I'll see you next week. Bye.